Today, I'm going to show you how to make a neon flex sign. With a little bit of time and patience, you can make some wonderful signs or graphics out of this flexible neon. First of all, you need a sharp knife, scissors, a scalpel, a pen, a soldering iron, some cables. This is the one we use. It's a ready tinned cable. As you can see, the ends have already been soldered. Some tape. To begin, the neon flex will come through this side and go round like that, and then round, and we're going to do this using one single piece of neon flex. And I've already pre-drilled 2 holes on the panel for the cables. There's a paper template stuck to the back of a piece of clear acrylic material for guidance. First of all, you need to use some cleaner. I'm just using some meths to try to get rid of the static, because when we remove the protective film from the acrylic, it will leave static. What it does is when you come to apply the glue to stick the neon onto the panel, if there's static still on the panel, it will go all over the panel. And once it's on the panel, it's very difficult to remove, and you end up with marks on the panel which spoil the whole effect. Now we're going to cut this down to size. It's advisable to cut the LED a little bit over size, and you can always trim it afterwards. If it's too short, you'll be struggling, and you might have to start all over again. So, just follow the paper template to mark out the bends. Here, you'll do a very tight bend. This material is so flexible, you can almost bend it back on itself. Because it's a flexible material, it does have a tendency to spring back to its original shape, so what we'll probably have to do is put some adhesive on there to hold it together, to keep it in shape. When it comes to here, we're going to mark it. This is where the second bend will be. The good thing about not having the acrylic routed with a channel on there is because sometimes you can't do exactly as the drawing. So long as you can get the effect 95%, I think that will be acceptable. Here, I'm going to put a small radius on it. Just bend it like that. And then it's just following the template to work out exactly what size of the neon flex I need to cut down to. Here, I'll need to do another tight bend, so it finishes about there. But I will cut it a little bit longer just in case. The neon flex we sell has a 10mm cut point. You see the black marks on it? That is where the cut points are, which is 10mm, which is one of the smallest cut points you can buy. Most of them are 25mm. So with a 10mm cut point, it allows you to create a more precise and accurate design compared to some of the longer cut points available. As you can see, there's going to be an angle there, so I'm going to angle this. To do this, you need to have a pretty sharp knife. So that is the cut, and you start from here and you go round and finish there. This piece is done more or less, and when you come to the end, I will just trim it down to size. I'm going to cut the other piece now, which is going to start here and finish there. We're going to have a join just there. Again, I'm just cutting it a little bit oversized. The angle is going to be about there, so I'm going to just cut it. When you cut it, try and cut where the soldering point is. That's the one I just cut. Can you see the soldering point just there? Now we've got both lengths cut to size, we're going to start soldering the cable on. Because the connections are quite close together, I only need to use a short piece of cable. We sell this ready tinned cable at different lengths. This is 100 mm, and we have 150 and 250 mm. I'm going to start doing the soldering now. I'll just switch the machine on. While the machine is warming up, you can stick the neon flecks onto the panel. We use miter bond. We sell these on our website as well. They come in two parts, and this is the miter pen. It's like a felt tip pen. And this is the activator. And this is the glue itself. You apply this by wiping it on the back of your neon flecks, and then you put the glue on the panel. We do it in drops, normally 20 to 25 millimeters apart. Once you bring it together, it will bond instantly, so you just have to make sure you position it correctly before pressing it down. Once you press it down, it will bond immediately, and then it will set in about 10 seconds, so it's pretty quick. To do the soldering, you want quite a small tip. You need to put a bit of the tin on the soldering point. The cable comes in gold and silver. One cable is gold in color and the other one is silver. Just make sure you use the same order throughout. If you solder the gold color cable to the positive solder point, make sure each connection is the same. The cable is ready tinned, so all you need to do is bring it together and just touch it with your soldering iron. This cable is very fine, so you'll be able to bend it. We test the connection using these crocodile clips and cable connected to a driver. So that works, and we now know the silver cable is the positive. We're now going to start sticking this piece down. This is the mitre pen. Just run it along the back of the neon. Now, when I put the glue down, I follow the shape. Now you put the cable through. It is fiddly, there's no doubt about that. You do need some time and patience. We're just going to solder the cable on this side now. So I'm going to cut the back of it. And I'm going to pull the LEDs out. Can you see that? I've just exposed the solder points to make it easier to solder the cable. You see that the gold cable is at the top of our first connection, so we need to make sure it's at the top on this next connection. Now you fit this cable through. Then you solder that cable to the next piece of neon to make a connection. Once you've done that, you can start sticking it down. I'm going to do that maybe in 2 sections. This is where I'm going to end. Now here we have to stick it down. This adhesive is so good, without which it would be impossible. Now I need to put a mark where the cable finishes, about here. Now I'll glue the rest of the neon down. I think that would be acceptable, rather than cutting it to make a sharper bend, which you could do. Here, I'm going to do a very tight bend back to itself, and we'll more or less be able to put the adhesive just about there. See how we do a tight bend like that? It splays out. Now, just imagine that was a channel or groove. When you stick this down, the neon flecks will spring open, and that's what happened here. So personally, I think it's better without the channel. What I'm going to do now is stick this together. Because we left the neon a little oversize, we have some excess, which we can now cut down. Again, I'm going to cut it to expose the solder points to connect the power cable. It can be tricky, but be gentle with it, otherwise you can damage the LEDs or solder points. I'm just going to test it to make sure it works. OK, it works. Now we're going to put the power cable on. We sell the power cable as well. It's a female DC connector with a 2-meter long cable. OK, so that's all working. Now, I'm just going to show you how to put the finishing touches on. This is the end cap. I'm going to adhere these onto both the exposed cut ends. Now to take the paper off and have a look. I'll just switch it on for you to see. Just one more thing I want to show you. See the cable at the back? You can always use the same glue to tidy this cable. So you can just stick the cable down to keep it in place. We'll do the same on this side. This is important because you don't want this to come off. You don't want it to be pulled off. Now I'm going to put it back on. Okay, that will be all. Hopefully you've learned something from this. If you have any questions at all, just email us. Do subscribe to our channel and look out for the next video. We'll be showing you how to do multiple letters, different colors, and also doing it onto a channeled or CNC panel with grooves, and also panels which are not clear, which makes things a little bit easier. Bye for now.